Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hello and welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you're back, welcome back. Today I am here with another review of a recently completed diamond painting kit. In these post-review videos, what I like to do is just talk through my experience of working on a kit and share just my thoughts and hopefully give you a sense for how not only a very specific kit looks completed, but also just in general what a diamond painting company has to offer, especially if it's one that you might not necessarily be familiar with. I try to review a lot of different diamond painting companies here on my channel, and the one that I have for you guys today is this beautiful kit called Becoming, and it's from Diamond Art Studio UK and is by the artist Andrea Tramutolo and is of course legally licensed by the company from the artist. That means that the artist has both given permission for the use of her artwork by Diamond Art Studio UK and is being compensated as well. And I have the diamonds here, which it took 2 sets of storage, which I'll show you in more detail in just a bit. And I have my diamond painting logbook over here, which is just where I track my thoughts and kind of keep up with it in real time. Here's a look at the original artwork. Absolutely striking. It's kind of got, some abstract feel to it and lots of really, really pretty colors. So here are the stats just kind of written out for you. So this is 60 by 80 centimeters and has 113 colors, square shaped diamonds. And I started this on November 5th and finished it on December 5th. So exactly 1 month from start to finish. And it was my 144th diamond painting I've ever completed and 38th for this year. I did have actually a couple other kits going at the same time as this one, so that is in part why it did take a while to finish, but there are other reasons why it was a bit of a lengthier project as well that I'll talk about more. But I also like to note if I participated in any events. Now I just jump into these events for the sake of the community aspect, working alongside people who are doing similar kits, and also just to support, fellow crafters in the community that are putting these on. So Nautical November was one event that I joined in on that was hosted by Diamond Art Sparkles and Diamond Fun Times. That's Emma and Jacqueline over on Instagram. And then Purple Post Month, which was actually an event put on by this company, Diamond Art Studio UK. And again, just joined in for the community aspect and to like I said, it's fun to work alongside other people on diamond painting kits. So I do want to mention right up front that Diamond Art Studio UK actually did send me this kit. And so a huge thank you to Diamond Art Studio UK for sending this to me. They did not tell me I had to work on this, but I had told them that I really loved this artwork and that I liked the idea of working on it in November for the Nautical November event. And they were just very, very sweet. So, this kit, one of the reasons I was drawn to it was not only the really beautiful artwork. I'm drawn towards kind of portraits and people and often, women, and I love kind of a fantastical element to them, and this kit I felt like really had that. I can't quite fit this in frame. It's pretty close to being in frame though. So here's just a look at how this really beautifully turned out. And you guys, one of the things that I was really interested in about this kit was the fact that it had 113 colors. Now, your kind of typical diamond painting kit is typically going to have in the range of 40 to 60 colors. And then there are some companies, actually this one included, among others, that will sometimes do like really max color count kits in often the 200 range, or 175 to 275 range. I've completed a few of those before, including Outside the Sweet Shop, which was the kit I was mentioning that I worked on from this company previously. It had 197 colors. But, I hadn't ever really worked on a kit that was somewhere in between those two numbers, the sort of standard 40 to 60 and the super high color count 200-ish. And because often what you'll hear people say is that once you get into this like 200-ish color range, that it just is too much confetti. It kind of really over pixelates the artwork and doesn't do it justice. But then there are some people that feel like 40 to 60 colors are not quite enough colors. So I was really interested in trying out a kit that was sort of in the middle, and 113 colors really seemed to check that box for me. So that was one of the things that drew me to this artwork, and I was just really curious to see how it would work up. Now, I've seen Diamond Art Studio UK post some videos on their Facebook page about how they do some hand charting with their kits. And what hand charting is when a person is really looking at the artwork translated into a diamond painting and is making tweaks to some extent, whether that's a little bit or a lot. It really depends. And I don't know what Diamond Art Studio UK's process looks like, but someone is, a human being is looking at the artwork as it's translating to a diamond painting and sometimes making pixel by pixel adjustments. So I can't say to what extent that is the case for this kit, but there are certainly areas where I go, okay, I feel like I can see the sort of effects of hand charting, especially in some of the skin tones that are going on here. But I do have to say that this kit absolutely did have a lot of what we call confetti. Confetti is where you have lots of color changes in a small area, and it meant that I was doing a lot of single placing and hunting for symbols sometimes. The symbol clarity on the canvas was really good though, so I didn't have to fight that in order to diamond paint. That can really make a big difference, especially when you're looking at a really high color count kit like this one. Some of the highest confetti areas easily were the coral over here, as well as actually in the jellyfish. There were so many color changes in this particular jellyfish right here. That was often the most high confetti area in the canvas. But I have to say, especially in the coral over here, I feel like it just paid off in spades. I am still stunned when I look at it, especially when I step back. I feel like the detail and the way that it looks is just really breathtaking. One of my other favorite parts about how the coral turned out is these ABs that have been charted in here. You can kind of see these special drills. There's this light blue. There's kind of a darker blue in here as well. And up close, it doesn't look like, you can't really make out the details and what's going on here. Here's some more of these, lots of those ABs. But when you pull back, it really comes together. And I feel like the AB placement in the coral really elevates it and just makes it really striking. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I wanted to show you guys how I organized my symbols for this particular kit. So I did have to use 2 sets of this storage, this bead storage, which is the Elizabeth Ward brand. That's the name that it is if you look on Amazon. They sell the same exact kind of style of tray. I've found it at like Joann's and Michael's under like the Hildy and Joe brand. I've also seen other versions on, AliExpress or similar that are this style. I have several of these sets of trays and containers at this point, and I freely mix and match them to just get the right mix of sizes of containers that I need. And so this ended up, taking up 2 of these storage containers, and much like the kit outside the sweet shop, which I'll link to, some of those videos. In one of those videos, I actually went into a lot of depth about my approach to organizing my storage containers. And the way that I ended up doing it, long story short, for that kit, which had, again, 197 colors, was I decided to organize my diamonds according to color. And I had such success with that I decided to do the same with this kit. So I had, my blues and some grays and then some purples over here. And, had it, broken down that way, and even had it broken down by, okay, the blues that have, a white or yellow, it's actually kind of a yellowish symbol, which I think that actually is easier to see than a pure white symbol on a dark background. I was like, I put all those together, and then like the blues that have, black on them kind of in the same area. And then here were kind of the pinks and oranges and browns. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, especially if you have this kit and are waiting to work on it, is these 2 symbols, which are very similar to one another, obviously. I found that on the canvas, at least, like I said, the printing was really clear. This one looked just like a really tall symbol, and the lines going through it were really kind of short comparatively, and this looked like more of the top one looked like more of a, I don't know. It looked shorter, and the middle lines were, longer and thicker. I've already sent a picture of this over to Diamond Art Studio UK, and they apologized and said, that we really try to go through and catch any of these symbol similarities and change them. But from time to time they miss them. So they were happy that I pointed it out and said that they were going to correct that for future runs of this kit. But I just want to let you guys know, like I said, in case you have this kit in your stash and already and maybe working on it, to watch out for those ones. The good news is the colors are really similar. So if you were to mix them up, I just don't think that you would probably notice, especially with just the confetti we have going on, a little bit of a difference here and there. I just don't think you're going to notice. But even still, the shop was very receptive to that feedback and is going to be fixing it. Now you can see I did have a lot left. I had plenty left over in all my colors. You can also see that there are these dryer sheet squares in about every container. I have found that my kits from Diamond Art Studio UK, though actually a lot of these seem to be all right. I don't really see, so much in the way of dryer sheets in these colors. But I have found that my kits from Diamond Art Studio UK have been a little bit static prone. However, it's a lot of static is just climate dependent, quite honestly. There are lots of, suggested hacks and tips and tricks out there for how to deal with static. But I've just found, honestly, that cutting up a dryer sheet into squares and sticking it in the bags, before I kit up and whatnot, that tends to help quite a lot. So, but that is just an FYI. Now, as far as, again, the canvas, let me take a look at my list to refresh my memory. Things that I loved, things that I was maybe a little bit meh on. Okay, so I mentioned that I thought that the color blending was really pretty. I will say that, of course, when I'm talking about rendering and how something looks with a finished effect, that's going to be highly subjective. Different, you might have a different taste than I do. You may look at this and go, oh, I don't like that it looks like this. Or you may look at this and go, this is the most perfect thing I've ever seen. So just know that I'm just trying to share with you as unbiased an opinion as I can, just sort of making observations, and you can decide if it's your taste or not. And so while this was really confetti heavy, and especially if you're looking up close, especially if you look at her face up close, some of the colors and the color choices probably look pretty stark and maybe a little bit like, let me show you. I could have just brought the camera down, but no, I prefer to make it difficult. It's like the colors in her chin. There's some lavenders and whatnot. Same like up by her eye. Sometimes those can look like a little bit puzzling color choices up close, but I really highly encourage you to step back and look at it all together and notice that it does come together, especially when you look at it from a viewing distance. I also want to note that this artwork, this original artwork, is designed to be very striking and highly stylized. If you look at this artwork, she absolutely has some of those kinds of colors and those highlighting, like the highlighter that she's got going on, that contour though, those colors completely suit what this original artwork looks like. So I would keep that in mind too. And this was a piece that I really was curious to see, how is this going to translate, because it is very bold, like very much like making a statement as far as how this looks. And I do think that it does translate pretty well, especially when you're looking at the source material. I feel like maybe, I don't know, when I look at the original artwork, there is maybe a little bit more detail to like the lines coming off of the squid than it appears like with diamonds down. But I think it does work. You get a sense for the effect of it, but just an observation, and the details I feel like come through the further down you go with these lines. It's more just kind of like close up there. And the details certainly come through, in my opinion, in the coral. I think that looks really, really amazing. I have to say that one of the things that I think is that Diamond Art Studio UK does best is that they have some of the most top-notch customer service that I have ever seen in like the diamond painting world. They are incredibly engaged with their customer base and constantly seeking feedback and extremely receptive to feedback. They're also really trying to be innovative and look for things that aren't being necessarily done in the diamond painting world. And so I really feel like when it comes to your experience with the product, that the customer service and what's going on with, the people that actually own and run the shop is a huge factor. Like that often is one of the things that means the most to me, right up there with like, okay, are the materials I'm working with good? And so I just have to say that I have been endlessly impressed with their customer service and just what I see with how they interact with their community. So I love that about them, and I want to make sure that I mention that. That includes going back to from the moment that I purchased a canvas, and they had no idea who I was when I purchased it, just under my name. And I received a top-notch quality product, and they were very communicative and everything. So have to mention that, of course. And then, I think I mentioned just about everything else. Now, as far as things that I was a little uncertain of, now this I'm going to have to say is just a personal experience thing, and not at all a reflection necessarily on, not a reflection at all on just this kit. It's just me sharing what was my personal experience like working on this kit. So I recognize this about myself. I did have some project fatigue when I was working on this one, and that came from, I think, a little bit, expectations that I had going into this. I didn't realize it was going to be as confetti heavy as it was when I pulled it out to work on it. And I also had a couple of other large confetti heavy square projects going at the same time, and I found myself going, oh, I did not plan this well. Like, this is on me. I wish that I would have had another round drill kit going, or a round drill kit going that I could have, flipped between, and I wish that I just wouldn't have started quite so many projects at once. So just for my own personal experience, my own personal logbook here, I did have a little bit of fatigue with working on this one. I kind of felt like, oh, this is just taking a really long time. So maybe I guess something you could take from that is that if you get fatigue from working on, lots of confetti, or, square drills or something, I would encourage you to take breaks. That's what I did once or twice, was like, okay, I'm just going to set this project aside. I don't want to burn out or get mad at it. Let me go work on something else, take a little break and then come back to it. And that's one of the best suggestions I have for sort of mental wellness when it comes to working on a project like this one, is just to pace yourself and know yourself, know if you're feeling like a project is taking too long, or if you're feeling frustrated, that often that means like, just give yourself a break, step to a different project for a bit. And that can really, really refresh and change your perspective in a good way. One other observation that I had, which I still need to mention this to the shop, and I had this on outside the sweet shop, and now I've had it on this one. And so I don't know if it's something with maybe the manufacturer, but on both of these canvases, I have noticed that there has been what I initially thought was just like a shifted plastic cover, or something like that. And there's like a little crease in the fabric, which you can see it easier on the back here, going up here. There you go. Now I can see it. There was one here, and then there was one at the top as well, that you can, is it this one? Yeah, there, you can see it right there in a different spot. I can show you through the light. There you go. You can kind of see it there. And in those two particular spots, I had really thought, I thought a couple of things. I thought, okay, is it the washi tape is pulling? Because every once in a while I will have that when I do the initial washi tape border on my canvas. Sometimes, I do it a little bit too tight and it buckles the canvas a little bit, and I just slash it like I did here, and, relax any tension that's there. And then I also thought, well, once there are drills down, that's just going to help it sort of lay flat the rest of the way. And you can still see a little bit the fold that's there right here. And then up here, it's hard to see, but there is like a slight buckle in the fabric there. And so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's something about how their manufacturer's laying down the glue, if they're, putting on the plastic cover and rolling it too tight too quickly or something. But this is not something I've experienced with canvases from other companies before. And it's poured glue. It's not double-sided adhesive, so I know it's not a river or bubble in the glue. But like I said, I ran into that with this canvas and with Outside the Sweet Shop. So I'm going to let them know and see. I think that maybe my best bet for this is if there's some kind of like tension that's in the glue, I'm going to try setting something heavy on top of this and see if just sort of that pressure will help kind of stretch, maybe like, I don't know, stretch and relax it. But I'm not 100% sure what the issue is. So I want to, make sure that I let them know. And I also took some pictures of the canvas before I put drills down, so that I could show them, okay, this is what I am seeing, as it appears, with the glue. So anyway, that was something else I noticed. I would just encourage you guys, by the way, if you are working on a kit and you notice something like this, I would suggest doing what I'm about to do, which is just to send a really kind, gracious, I'm assuming the best of the small shop owner, and just sharing some feedback to be like, hey, I noticed this thing that is going on. I don't, not every small shop owner is going to work on a lot of diamond painting kits. They might not have time, or they might, just not know how prevalent an issue is. So I'm always a huge proponent of, especially with small shops, any shops though, give feedback. If you notice something like that, I feel like there's a really nice and respectful way to do it. Again, assuming the best, assuming that they want to fix the problem, they want to know if there's an issue. And then, especially if they're hearing it from multiple people or something like that, then they'll know oh, okay, this might be more of a thing and we want to look into this further, as opposed to, maybe a one-off, and it still gives them a chance to make it right too. So I would highly encourage you guys to do that, by the way. And like I said, with just sort of the attitude that a small shop owner wants to know about this, and they didn't set out to send you a product with any sorts of issues. So I'm gonna let them know. And otherwise though, it is a minor thing, but it's still a thing I want to mention. I don't think it affects the overall look of the finished product. I think this still looks like a fantastic kit, and it's not going to stop me from buying from this company again, because again, my experience with their customer service and their product has been top notch. And I think that they have some beautiful licensed artwork to choose from. And I'm excited to buy from this company again. I just had a delivery come in with two kits, including a new release that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys in an unboxing soon. But, and those ones I did buy. So, that, hopefully speaks for itself, that I've had such a good experience with working on 2 of their kits so far, just in the past 6 months, that I'm buying from them again. But anyway, you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of how this looks? And have you worked on a Diamond Art Studio UK kit before? If not, I encourage you to go and take a look at what they've got. They also are really good about posting updates with new releases and when restocks are coming, because their kits have been very popular and selling out. They're trying really hard to meet demand as much as they can. So I recommend following them on Facebook for the most up-to-date information about kind of what's going on with new releases and restocks and whatnot. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will link to my post-review playlist down in the description box below if you want to see other reviews I've done here on my channel. And I'll link to my review of Outside the Sweet Shop, which was also from Diamond Art Studio UK, if you'd like to go and take a look at another finished canvas from this company. So maybe the next one I do won't be a max color count kit. They have some more standard diamond painting kits, and I really should try to get to one of those soon too. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more reviews and other diamond painting content from me. I would love to have you here. All right, my friends, have a day and a week that's as amazing as you are, and I will chat with you in the next one. Bye.